We are finally here at day 7 out of 7 of my from scratch to track slot car build, and I just got this last day to finish this track, and it is beginning to look quite good, so I am very hopeful that I will succeed, but there are 3 steps I need to go through today. First off, I'm going to build some kind of TV stand like the one I got here from my HK Apocalypse track. And the stand over there supports 3 screens. I do only need one that supports 1 screen, and this one needs to be mobile so I can move it around. So this is a very heavy stand to support all that weight and make sure that nothing falls over or tips over. So I'm going to do something like this, but with the twist that on the back side here there will be a couple of shelves, one for a laptop that will control the races, and one for the power supply for the track, and the control unit that will control all of the lap times and connection with the computer. So I'm going to build one of these. Secondly, I am going to get all of the stuff connected that needs to be connected. That would be the light bridge. I will have to connect the sensors and everything to the control box, so I get a working and running slot car track with a couple of controllers so you can actually control the cars, which has been disabled for several days now. I only had that attached during testing. And the third thing I need to get ready today is the rest of the scenery and landscaping. I have added a lot of trees, but I still need to add that ground vegetation, and it could use a lot more trees, and I still have 2 boxes almost full. So as much time as I can get, I'm going to use the remaining time there on working on the landscape. But the most important part, of course, is getting the TV stand finished and getting the control units and everything connected, so I have a working slot car track. Because it looks finished as it is, but you can always upgrade. So all the remaining time is going to be used on upgrading and getting the track even better. And the last remaining thing here is that edge down there, and the T-wheel stand will also need to be painted, and I'm going to paint that black. But as I can't work with it during today, if I paint it up as soon as I build it, then I'll have to paint it up as the day finishes, and then tomorrow morning it will be dry and everything should be ready to go. Let's just do a quick overview and a rundown of the track here, because I think this is beginning to look really amazing. We have all these wooden structures, and I think the color really matches the rock. It's a contrast, and then the green on the trees. So I think that was a perfect choice and a great mix. Somewhere on the track, I'm just going to pass here, isn't that much room. Over here, for example, we have these metals inside the rock, and I just think that looks really amazing. So I will need to do a bit of cleanup on some of the track pieces. A bit that's actually leftovers from the foam when I cut that, so I'll have to have that removed before this looks completely finished. But I think this is an amazing track, and this is the work for just 6 days, including both the legs down there, the table, electronics, control box, and everything. But no more room for talking. Let's get that TV stand built. Yesterday I was up to around very late to get this finished. This is my sketch for the TV stand, and as you can see here, I have a base plate that is not completely square because I wanted a bit more features on it. Then it progresses up into this large stand here, or pole, where the TV is mounted on top, so it's raised above the track in a good height, and behind it there is 2 shelves, one for a laptop, that would be the top one, and the second one I can place the control unit for the slot car track, including the power supply, so it's easy access to changing the voltage on the track and getting access to all of the wires. All wires can be run down through this pole here in the middle and then down below, and I'm probably going to make a hole in here so I can run them out in front too. So that's the look of it, the general idea. I think it might be a bit too tall on this design, but and down here, this area here is going to be covered up so you can't see it, so it will be hidden. It will look a bit better. I'm going to do something something like this, a small cover plate here. I will probably leave the hole below it, the hole right there, because that way I can run wires out this way, and the same here. So the wires here will go in front or down below the track. So that will actually be pretty cool, that the wires could run all the way down this one, and then out through a hole in the bottom, and then out here, so they can get to the track as unnoticed as possible. So let's get this built. It's going quite nicely with the TV stand, and sorry for the poor light in here. It is getting very dark outside. I think there is a storm coming, and I have no artificial light in this room, so I am relying on the sun. So it doesn't get any better than this, so nothing to do about it anyways. But the TV stand is right over there behind, and right now it's just sort of like a pillar you can attach a television to. We have the bottom down here. I am going to do a bit more work on that to make it look better, and then it's going up on some legs, just some very short ones that will keep it on the floor but raise it a bit. So I still need to drill some holes in it so I can run wires through, and I'm going to make those shelves. And the shelf, luckily enough, I actually found one I had made for a previous project right over here. It's even painted black. So this is one, I need one more, because the laptop is going to stand on the top one, and then the power supply and the control unit for the track is going to stand on the bottom one. So I just need to make one more of those and attach it to that one over there. And I have a deadline that says 2 o'clock for this project, so I have 45 minutes to finish that and get everything attached. With 10 minutes to go until 2, which was my deadline, I managed to finish the stand here. There are a couple of details I need to correct, but I'll get to those later before I paint it. But 2 shelves, one for the laptop and one for power and control. And up here I'm going to mount one of those you use for mounting television on your wall. So this should do it. So happy about this. Just need to finish those details. But right now I'm going to place it down on the slot car track so we can start installing the electronics. Before I went to bed yesterday, I started this 3D printer so it could get these printed to today. This is the mounts for the controllers, and they're going to be located on the side of the track. So luckily the printer hasn't made any fails or flaws here, so they look just perfect. So this will be popped out, and then we can install the controller here, and it will be connected through these holes. Yeah, I'll run bolts through them like I did with the control box. And this is mounting holes for screws. I'm working on connecting all of the wires now, and I have these that are for holding the controller, so they can just fit right in here. And if we take a look at this one, we can see that the wires will be connected behind it and then run through a hole in the track here, so everything will be hidden. Behind I have these panels here. This is for the sensors, and I can just run a couple of extension wires from these two over to the control box. This makes it a lot easier just setting this track up, as these ones will be installed up here under the track. I'm also going to make some markers that says what this is, that this is for the lane sensors and for lane 1 and lane 2 over here. So that's basically what I'm working at right now, running these wires. When I have attached all of the wires for the power there and the controllers, it should be possible to test the track and see if the cars can run using the controller. So yeah, let's just get over here behind it, because I have the setup here with the TV stand, and you can see we have the laptop here, and we have the power supply down there, and the control unit for the track. So all of the wires I'm connecting there will have to have extension wires running below the track to this one, and that means that I can use this stand for other tracks too. So I can just move that around and set it up with another track, which is quite helpful, as I'm also working on a large circuit of Circuit de Catalunya in Spain, Formula 1 track. So if I could save myself from having to build another TV stand, computer stand and control box, that would be great. Then I can focus on just making the tracks. But let me get these wires finished. It's about 4 o'clock and I have gotten both the controllers and the sensors and the light bridge attached, including the computer over there, which I've just turned around so you can see what's on it. So the trick here is I wanted to see if the sensors worked at the moment, the lane sensors. So, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera actually, but they work. That's very nice. So when I pass here, it works. So it should be possible to set up a small race now and see if everything runs as it should. I'm sitting here with the control box for the slot card track, and I'm using an Arduino Uno connected with a couple of relays, and then I have run all of the wires out here to these bolts I am using as connectors. This is a very cheap and reliable way of connecting controllers, sensors and so on to a slot card track, and I don't know what they're called in English, but I use these, and you can simply run a wire in there and then use a tool to tighten it so the wire stays in place, and it's very fast and it's reliable. So when the wire is connected here, if I'm going to connect the power to the track, I'm just going to place this here and then use a nut and turn it around until it's tight, and this works very well. I could have used some shorter bolts, but one of the advantages here is that you are able to connect several wires to the same connector. So this is how I built the control. The box is 3D printed, and the features here are, I have made these panels so they are loose, so I can change them if I come up with a better design. So here we have the track power in, we have the track power out for the 2 lanes, and this is just the ground. Then I have call buttons for Marshall and for 2 lanes for driver 1 and 2. We have the track sensors, the ground, and we have sensor 1 and sensor 2. And in here there will be a special piece that will prevent the wire from being pulled. So, something that will prevent people from pulling hard on the wire and damaging the Arduino in here behind. And that hole is for the starting lights if I decide to make those, but I can't manage to do that in just 7 days or with the time I have left. So that was just a quick presentation of the controls here. I have just set up so we can do sort of like a maiden race and see if everything works as it should. The light bridge operational, the controllers are operational. I haven't cleaned the track yet, so that might do a difference, but the sensors are connected, everything should be in order, but I haven't tested it yet. We have the software over here, race coordinator, running as it should. I haven't done anything with the start settings of the software, so it's just a basic test to see if it can count laps and so on. So I haven't got any call buttons yet, they will be attached soon. The control unit down there has capacity for them, so I'm going to attach them very soon. But up here we have fuel, we have laps, lap time and best lap. And I'm just going to see if everything works. So I'm going to place the camera and drive a couple of laps on both lanes just to see if everything is in order. I don't know if it's possible to see the screen here on the camera. Hopefully it is. So let's do some laps, see if everything works. I'll have to turn on the machine manually, hit the space bar as I haven't got a call button yet. And we'll just listen 1 lap at a time. Go. And that was the wrong controller, so we can see that it actually counted the lap over there, so that seems fine. And I'm just a bit careful here not to crash the car, because that would really ruin the video, so I'm not going to bring back a damaged car or anything. It counted the lap, everything seems to be in order. I made a lap time of 18 seconds and it burned some fuel. So let's just try to refuel when we get back here to the start line. See if I can hit it. Yeah, perfect. So it can refuel and everything. Let's test the other lane, see if that goes as well. that actually feels like it runs a bit smoother, but I've said before, I need to clean this track before doing any racing on it. So let's just take a lap. It counted the first lap, I can see on the screen over there. I'm just going to beat that time I made on the first run there. And then we can test if it can refuel. Yeah, perfect. And then just around for the refueling fun. This actually runs very smooth. And that Red Bull just looks amazing on this track. No, I missed it. I drove too far. There's only one thing to do then, that's just take another round. It's really a problem if you're racing and you do that, because you usually have a setting where you're not disqualified, or your car doesn't stop when you're running out of fuel. You could set it to that, but we just run with that. It won't count laps.
Pit stop started.
And the pit stop started, and it's refueled. This is just perfect. It runs so good. Very happy. I'll just take the camera and go over so you can see what's on the screen there if you couldn't see that before.
60 seconds left.
It looks like this. So nice, very nice. This track looks amazing, and it runs too now. So I have actually managed to complete a complete slot car track in 7 days. I need to paint the panels here. I need to add a couple of fences and some vegetation, and I need to paint that TV stand over there and mount a screen. But I have half a day yet, and I've decided, due to the bad weather today, I was really compromised. Especially more or less just due to the fact that it was very difficult to film out here. So I've decided to take that second half of the day in better weather conditions, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to film it, and then I'll throw the rest in after this little speech I'm giving here, so it will be part of this video, of course. Just wanted to say that I haven't cheated and done it over several days. I've only used half a day today. So let's get the rest filmed, hopefully better weather tomorrow. Today is our regular gaming evening, and that means that we have a lot of people over playing some computer, and today there isn't as many as there used to, but it's vacation, holiday and so on, so that's probably the cause. But luckily a couple of the guys decided to help me move this track in here in my racing room, and it's actually very light. The wood construction and the foam itself doesn't weigh that much, and 2 people could move all of this in here without any problems except getting through the doors. And that's quite impressive. So I've managed to make this lightweight, and the legs are easy to set up, so that's just great, and it looks really awesome here. So now I only need to connect the screen, computer and so on, and all the controls, and then this track is completely up and running. Still need to do a bit of fences, but I can do that tomorrow. And actually yesterday, as I said before, I split this up over 2 days, and I stayed up to horribly late to paint all of the edges here black, and I think that looks just incredible. So all of the edges has been painted black, and the TV stand over here has also been painted black. So it's actually ready. I just need to mount the 2 shelves, and I also ended up staying really late and designing a system to do that. So that's what the 3D printer over here is actually working on right now. So printing blocks like this, where the shelf can just slide into, meaning that I can remove them if they aren't going to be used. So let's get on with connecting all of this. Finally gotten to some of the last parts of this project, because it is beginning to take its toll. I am really tired. Been working a lot on this race car track, and it's looking incredible, but I'm looking forward to just taking a small break from it. So I'm going to make the call buttons that can activate the yellow flag on the track or just stop the race. So I'm going to make 3, 1 for each player or driver, so they can initiate a yellow flag, and 1 for a marshal so he can stop the race if it's necessary. And it's actually very simple. I have 3D printed these parts. They are available on my Patreon if anyone should be interested. And generally we have the top here, fits down here, and then you will attach one of these common push buttons here, solder in a wire. I've made some 5 meter length wires. These will go into my control box, and the back of the wire just run out through this hole in the bottom of the what do you call it, switcher, the handle you can press. So when you are using it, you will stand like this with this in your left hand and the controller in the right hand, and if you fall off the track, you'll just hit the button up here, the red one that's right down there, and that will stop the race. So pretty simple. So I'm just going to make 3 of these, and then I'm going to attach them to the track tomorrow. Well, that's it. The track has been set up in the racing room. It is inside, everything is connected, TV stand is built, I have call buttons, controllers, everything should work. The only thing I actually need to do is add a bit of vegetation and some fences so the cars won't fall off when you drive. So I'm going to do that just in a minute after I show you and tell you a bit about the TV stand over there. The TV stand just uses an old TV I had laying around. There are a couple of errors, a couple of lines down in the middle of it when it's turned on. We'll take a look at that when I test the track, but everything works, so no biggie. Behind here we have the TV stand. It is placed firmly on the ground, so it's very solid. On the lower shelf we have the power supply that is adjustable for the track, and we have the control unit here that will control every communication between the computer and the track. So this allows me to make track calls, fuel management on the track, and it gets lap times and everything. And then a laptop over here to control the races. In the race coordinator software I use, it is actually possible to set up races and events. So if we have 10 people driving, it can make the tournament plan for us and host that event. I decided to change a bit on how I installed the shelves. So I've been using this system. I have 3D printed these. So these pieces of wood here, they can slide in and out. So right now they have been attached, but if I loosen it a bit, you can just slide the shelves out. So I decided to print that in white just to make not everything black. So you can see in some of my other displays over here, they have 3 screens, and I usually use that for displaying event results, like a championship results, on one screen, and the other screen shows who's going to drive next. I didn't think this was necessary for this one, but I might upgrade this display with that same screen setup. So the track looks pretty good right now, but I still need to add a bit of fences, and I just experimented a bit with it here. So I'm going to add these, especially here in the corners where the car comes with full speed and risk running off the track and down on the ground, which would be horrible because we do not want to crash these cars and damage them. It seems that these Grego cars, and I bought another brand here, they all seem to be very durable. So we'll see about that when we get racing. The only problem is that I painted up a lot of these fences. I have them right over here, and unfortunately I ran out of that spray paint I've been using, and I have ordered some, but it hasn't arrived yet. So today I'm just going to focus on adding them at the absolutely most necessary places, and I'm probably going to add a bunch of trees here to prevent the car from falling off that way. So I'm going to use the trees sort of like a fence, and I still need to make it look good though. I'm also going to add some bushes and some plants, a bit of flowers, so just a tiny bit, not overdo it, because I actually think this looks very nice as it is. So let's get those fences attached. If I'm going to stay true to the 7-day rule of this project, that I needed to build a complete slot car track in 7 days, I'll have to stop now because the 7 days are up. It took a lot longer to add all of those pine trees here, and it doesn't really matter. It is visual, and I think it looks really amazing right now. I'd have loved there to be a bit more vegetation, but I can add that later. And if we take a look at the track itself, it is completely finished. Everything is working. It's ready. We have controllers. We have some holders for them. We have call buttons. We have computer control up there. And then of course we have all of the landscape and track layout here, and it just looks amazing. And then we have the screen over here, the TV stand with a laptop running everything, and control box and power supply down there. So I think this project turned out really, really great. So let's take this track for a spin and see if everything actually works as intended. The race can be started using the call buttons here, so let's get it on and see if everything works as it should.
3, 2, 1, go!
So both the pit lane and that track works, so let's just try the second track and see if that goes as it should. Well, thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and that this project has inspired you. 7 days and a completely finished slot car track. I'm actually very proud of this project. And I am considering doing another one next year when I get a holiday. So I hope you can use this for something. The next step for me is to start making maybe some small, shorter videos, episodes, where I add some lights, I add some vegetation, some animals, some Easter eggs around the track and so on. So that could be a real fun project. But in all regards, this track is finished, so I actually managed to pull this off. After filming this, I'm going to go back inside the house and I'm going to invite a friend over for an event where we take this track for its maiden voyage and see if we can find the best driver on this track and see if we can set some decent lap times so we can get a feel for how fast we can run on this track. So I will of course make a video of that event and post it here, and I'll make sure that it's pretty soon. So I hope you all have enjoyed watching the content here and watching these 7 episodes, and I hope you would like to follow my channel in the future. There will be a lot more slot car related stuff. There will also be 3D printable stuff and all kinds of hobby stuff, as I've always made. But I can promise you all there will be a lot more slot car related stuff on the channel. I have really enjoyed this, and I hope you've enjoyed following. So remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and please post some comments down below. The feedback is always appreciated. Give me some great ideas for how I can upgrade this track. I am always listening and I do all I can to answer all messages. So thank you all for watching and happy racing everyone.